into this 1 hour breaker block now. We're going to see how the price wants to react, but bear in mind that we do have unmitigated prices up here. You might want to come retest this 1 hour order block here, or come and fill this imbalance at this particular zone here. We can see this is a real institutional level here. You know what I'm trying to say? Imbalances, volume imbalances, institutional candles. Like a supply and demand area. So sometimes they might want to wick it, like price can be magnetized towards this area. Support and resistance playing out. We've got zones above here where price might want to extend to. Nice little sell-off on gold. Caught some buys earlier. So how we're really working with this now is based on the timing. It's based on the timing. So literally, this entry here was within the algorithm because of this move here. So, you know, pips. But personally, because of the time, here on, if you did take this buy, you could hold this buy until around about this sort of time, coming up to 9 o'clock. Maybe stop loss at break even. But I want to see what the price does by the time we get here. By the time we get here, I want to see what how the price plays out on these lower time frames. Then I'll be able to determine, you know, what I think Bitcoin's going to do from here. Maybe catch some pips. Just track the price. By this sort of time, I want to see what it's saying. At the moment, although we've got a liquidity sweep here now, if we get some type of breaker structure to the downside, like an impulsive move, we could have, you know, possible reversal lining up at this breaker block. But yeah, BTC has been on a nice little bull run today from this 4 hour order block. If we go into like the lower time frames, you know, or let's go to the 4 hour chart for a sec. We had this marked. We had these, you know, trendline liquidities. The price, when the price got down here into the 1 hour order block, this was a possible point of interest to look for buys. Okay, but when we got here, there was no shift in momentum. There was no, you know, breaker structure and nothing like that. It was just, the momentum was just very strong, even when we got to this order block. Boom, boom, boom. So these are like voids. These became voids where the price was just magnetized towards here to come and sweep up all of these liquidities right here. Okay, and then since we got here, we can see next stop is back to the, you know, the 1 hour breaker block. So now we're here. Is it still a void? You know, because it was a previous void here, is it another void to just push back up maybe to this imbalance and then come and settle back on this level here? It's all about what the price action is really going to tell us. Possibilities are, you know, endless. But we do have, you know, our points of interest where price does usually get attracted to. Like this nice imbalance area here. And it's all about trapping the price, seeing what the price actions really say and having your points of interest marked. You know, this order block is still a point of interest. It's still a significant zone for me because the price can always come back there and give us, you know, opportunities. Just because, you know, it was a void before doesn't mean it's going to be a void again. We could, you know, get a significant pullback depending on if we get, you know, break a structure, etc., etc. But like I said, I'm going to wait until that time and see how it plays out. Until then, if we look at the 5-minute chart, we're still within this zone. So these particular times, the market goes through phases, right? You know, it goes through these sideways phases, and then we push up to different zones, like here, pushed up into this zone, and then pushed straight up into this zone. We skipped these zones here. Okay, it wanted to get back into the zone very fast. You know, it didn't really want to stick around. From when we had, like, this is an ideal sort of play out when, you know, the price actually hits your point of interest. And if we look from when we hit this 4-hour order block, you know, if we measure it, it's probably about 50%, not 0.5, 50% of this order block. When it hits 50% and you get this, look at the time, right? How long it took to play out. Couple of hours before it actually, you know, we just say here, from when it actually made this move. Could say here this was a possible entry. So, you know, 9 hours, bro. 9 hours it was in this phase before it let loose. So for moves like this, sometimes you just have to wait for it to play out. Once you get that shifted momentum, we know that the reversal's coming. Otherwise, you know, like when we got to these zones here, when we first got to this breaker block as a possible point of interest, we had this rejection, and then next candle that printed, these were all like engulfing candles to the downside. Boom. It didn't stick around here for long. You know, rather, what it actually did, if we measure this here, look at this, guys. If we measure 50% of this particular breaker block, right there, 0.5, let me just change the color on this so you can see. The 0.5 area, if we get rid of this for a second, we can actually see when the price skipped through. Let me make this line black so you can see it, and a little bit thicker. When we actually broke through 50%, we actually came back and retested the 50%. Once it violated it, this candle closed below the 50% of the breaker block, retraced off the 50%, and it was gone. So this is a clear indication that there's no sign of reversal here. You know, and if you know about this kind of stuff, you can catch entries of the 50% of these breakers and stuff. When we got here, we had this rejection. Same thing here. Not quite the same thing, but, you know, retracement means when the price comes back to. So even within this candle, once, look how the price was inside this order block. It was inside this order block. Okay, this particular candle was actually inside the order block, and we can see that the price, once it closed inside of it, it actually came to retest the bottom of the candle and came back to 50% of the candle and then continued down. You can see that 50%, very significant zones. And I'm trying to say, a lot of activity at these 50% regions. So when we actually hit into this now, what did we get? They create their own liquidity. Boom. Sweep it. And this is when they initiate the move, when they actually want to reverse it. Starts creating these high, like automatic higher high. Creates the structure here, breaks it. Okay. Boom. Sets liquidities, you know, breaks the next high. So it created these multiple highs here. 1, 2, 3. Although they were like lower highs. This one was a lower high, and then this one was a higher high. Then we had higher high, higher high, higher high. So this is where they like to try and trick you. For those that like to trade structure. lower time frames, start to create these minor highs. So technically this leg up here, we broke, you know, we can say these previous lower highs and the new high that it created here, which was enough for it to, you know, gather the momentum of this liquidity stop hunt back into like this zone here, where in these wicks you probably got like 1 minute break up order block or something, you know, money transfer. And then they come back and then they're gone. Break a structure, come to retest. But you see these kind of moves here, if you know, it's the only real way to get in like halfway through the move is if you catch like an entry of the imbalance. So this 50% of this imbalance here, they set a liquidity here. Once you know the algorithm, you know that anything below this liquidity, once they sweep it, they'll continue up. You know, they won't always play off their order blocks. And look, price is gone. And like I said, that entry, what was the entry? At that particular time was the one that you could hold until here. So like I said, this particular buy entry, that was the most like, that looked the sweetest in this whole scenario, was from this time here, quarter past, boom. Hold this until we get to quarter two and see like where we are. Nice break and retest off of this, you know, this support area that they created. You can see prices retesting off of it. Very interesting what the price actually does when you watch it. You learn how this stuff actually moves. So all these other, you know, what's this doing? Gold, we got ETH. ETH is pumping as well. Obviously, because Bitcoin's pumping. Done exactly the same thing. Created this liquidity, but this was more like an imbalance entry. Boom. Smashed all of them. Now we're returning back, you know, smash back through this. This was the breaker block here in this scenario. But, you know, it was a void. This breaker block they use as a void, like a trap. For those new smart money traders that just learned about breaker blocks, and as soon as it touches it, they put a buy in. For them kind of guys, this is what they do to them, because you never anticipated the trendline liquidity sitting below. This whole candle is like an imbalance candle. They're coming to fill it all up, all the gaps. Be interesting to see, like, you see how the price is actually wicked from the wick of this candle. Came to wick it, this area, just a wick, and now look. Look at the reaction from these areas. It's not just a coincidence. Getting reactions here. Whatever liquidity was in this area here, boom, they've come to grab it. Now look at the price action, slowing down a little piece. So look now, 50% of that breaker block. Look how the price found a support on, like, above it and was gone. Can you see that? The rejections here, once they set this liquidity, the rejections are at 50% of the candle. Boom. So like I said, this would be a long that I would hold until here, 8:45. See what's going on. Once we get here, the next sort of like, there's a specific time period that we'll look at, you know, possible manipulation, any type of lineups that happen here. What's going on here? See what's really going on. It's the same thing with all these other currencies, you know. Is there anything you guys want me to look at in particular? I mean, I can show you how I took these entries today off of gold. Been following this for a little while now, this little head and shoulders pattern. Price didn't quite reach back down here yet. Still unmitigated discount price. Rather, when we got to this zone, after we swept this liquidity here, we had a shift in structure, which, you know, made me realize that, yeah, price wants to go bullish. And there was news on today as well. There was news on, here, USD news, Treasury Secretary Yellen speaks, 3 o'clock. When this kicked in, look what gold done at 3 o'clock. You know, just before it kicked in, bang, just pumped up. You know what I mean? From 3 o'clock, we had this boom, just before 3 here. So at 2:30, when this closed, bam, 2:45, we had this pump, boom. Then 3 o'clock, we had this retracement, and then, you know, price continued up. But just before, you know, 2:30, just before the news kicked in, boom, shot the price up. So this is how they catch you. Like, they'll say the news is on at 3 o'clock, but the manipulation happened like half an hour before. Bang. Smart money traders were trying to get in here, right? Off of this order block. They were trying to get in. And this is why you got these little rejections. Watch this. This last sell before this, this last buy candle before this sell that broke the structure here. Okay, smart money traders are looking at this like an order block. Price comes in, get a rejection. The amateurs, like, they'll start putting in sells, and then bang. Institutions are actually coming here. You know what I mean? Price is going bullish. Liquidity sweep, breaker structure, inducement, slam back into the point of interest, and then they've gone slam, take out all these liquidities, boom. Probably come down to like grab these little trend line liquidities. These little trend line liquidities here. Back into this gap here maybe. Before they want to continue pushing the price up. Might just get an erratic move down here. Or they might want to come. But there's no, like, look at this whole move up here. There's not really much gaps down here. Do you get it? Like, look at this candle here. There's not really a gap here. The wicks are overlapping. There's no gap here. It's not really a gappy place. Like this gap in this candle got filled out already by this. So any of these gaps here that the candles leave, these candles are quite, these bullish candles, they leave gaps, isn't it? Like between the wicks. Price likes to come back into these gaps. There's a gap here. Cool. Price might want to come fill this gap. It's all about these little gaps. Might want to come fill this gap. That's the only real gap that's in this stretch here. We do have like these liquidities that they might want to come slowly, come and fill this gap. Got gaps here. Okay, we've got a nice gap here. It's all about gaps, which, look at this gap here. They've already come into it. This gap within this candle here, all of these gaps are filled. So you got to remember, yeah, these guys just want to come fill out gaps. Wherever the gaps are, that's where they're going. So these are the only gaps in this piece here. Could see them just coming down there. Maybe in the Asian session or something. Reacting strongly off of this zone. We're starting to get like almost like a bullish engulfing, you know, on the 15-minute. Looks quite, you know, that can change obviously. We got this slight shift in momentum, you know, it's not quite bullish again. We swept this high and price is coming to retest this trend line, looks like. Probably come and take it, attack that, boom, boom, boom. See what I go on. But I know there's some nice gaps down there. Look at BTC's there. We're almost at that magical timing. 3 minutes. So this is when I'll be looking to close like maybe some partials from this entry here. In these last couple of minutes, or like we can hold until we get exactly here. See what's going on. So yeah, that was a bit of a tricky one. I didn't, you know, obviously we didn't send that out as a signal because it happened so fast, but it was like, by the time I looked at it and I could see what was going on here, like I said, this is the entry that lined up after this little, you know, this little maneuver that they did here. They created this, they gave this impulsive move, they came and mitigated it straight away, created these highs on the minor time frames, boom, and then like, because we failed to create a new high here, a lot of people were looking for sells here, and this is why they just slammed it up. You know what I'm trying to say? Bang. Because from when we started to create this resistance, you know, this like automatically is going to entice you to sell, isn't it? Whoosh. So yeah, like I said, we can hold until quarter two. Get ready to close. We might get some type of quarter two. For half an hour, there's going to be like probably another range. Might be able to catch a few scalps in there. Because this is Bitcoin, so it's not like this just trades 24 hours, isn't it? So you can just go, you can just hammer Bitcoin really. By the time we get into this sort of time zone, we'll be able to see like if we get, you know, if we're still going to continue bullish or if there could be a possible reversal. But within this sort of zone here, I can't really see anything significant except for this imbalance, you know, 15-minute imbalance. Let's look at the 30-minute time frame. We're definitely coming into this. As we can see, obviously, like, look, we're already in the candle. %. See what the price does when it gets there. We're going to get a shift in momentum. Maybe. If we get a shift in momentum, possible shorts back down here, you know, volume imbalance area, might want to come back down to mitigate this order block like what it did on the lower time frames here. Possibilities are endless with this. So here, look, boom. What's the time? 8:45. This is take profit area. 8:45 and then boom. Look for another setup. Sniper entries, this is what we want to try and, you know, achieve. Decent little move there. This is a 1-minute scalp. I won't be surprised if price wants to come quickly. No, come and take this low here. What's this though? Hold on. Oh, that's the imbalance. That's the imbalance. But yeah, guys, glad everyone can make it. Hope you're all, you know, learning something with me here tonight. I do try my best to try and break this down as simplest, in the most simplest form that I possibly can. And there we go. Price is pushing to the imbalance. Boom. It's moving a bit erratic.
Donnie, as usual, that's fire stuff, man. Like, just as a fan of Bitcoin, man, when do you see it go back to its, you know, 50, 40, 60K regions, you know? I mean, do we have a bit longer to wait, or do you think it's going to come soon?
To be totally honest with you, okay, what I understand from the history of Bitcoin, right, is that anytime we've made like a significant move on the weekly, or let's look at the monthly for a second. Actually, let's stick to the weekly, so we can see before we've actually got these huge moves, right? Like from here, we've had this huge push up. We've had this leg here. We've had this leg here. These are all legs, right? Legs down, etc. In between these legs, we've got these zones, right, where the price is accumulating the orders before it can, really extend into the future. So every time we get into zones like this, before we extend, there are always different sort of phases that it goes through, right? So now we've got this leg, like even this little phase here where we had 2 weeks of this manipulation before this little last piece of the extension. We can see this wave here, isn't it? It's like a 5 sort of Elliott wave, boom, 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 boom. Then we had this correction. So now we're going through another phase again. So this phase is gonna create another leg. Okay, this next phase is gonna create another leg. Now, if we measure these legs, once it comes out of these phases, these legs are, they're quite juicy. So if you catch a leg for like a week or two, if you catch a decent entry and catch a leg like this, 87%. So we could end up pushing up, to come above this order block. Could get another leg like this, or we could get another leg like this. But it's going to create another leg once we push out of this phase. Like we had a phase here, and then we had this leg. I'm trying to say. We had this leg here, then we went through this phase here, and then we pushed down another leg. So if we measure these legs here, after we go through phases, we always get these kind of legs. But it's quite hard to say, based on the structure, where we've come, and we've wicked these areas here. We've also got gaps down here, so we could get, like, look at this phase here, the wicks. Okay, now this phase could extend down here, extend back up. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be that narrow. Like, this whole phase is accumulation again, where they're going to accumulate enough orders to create the other leg. So right now, it's always just best to sort of take advantage of the intraday trading aspect of things, and until we actually get a few sweeps. Like, we've had this significant sweep, and then the price dropped. Within this zone here, we've had this sweep here, and then drop. Within this zone here, we've had this sweep here, up, sweep down, and then gone. Sweep up, sweep down, gone. Sweep up, sweep down, gone. Yeah, and then from here it was just gone, and then we had this like sweep down, sweep up, gone. So they have to sweep up. So where's the zones that they could sweep up in? They got to sweep up before they go. So this is a prime sweeping area. This imbalance, this gap here, because sweep. We've got imbalances above the price as well. Within this candle here, we've got daily order blocks sitting on a daily time frame. So they could sweep and then want to extend to this daily order block to come and mitigate. So I wouldn't be surprised if we push up here. Like, if we're in that part of the cycle to push up back to this daily order block, but we could drop as low as 24s before we do that. Okay, and the only reason why I could see Bitcoin dropping below 24 is to possibly come and fill this inefficiency here. There are inefficiencies below. Okay, don't get me wrong, but the chances of Bitcoin falling back down to these prices are quite slim, isn't it? But then nothing's impossible, I suppose. There are like gaps within this area here where we could get some type of fundamental news that just we get some crazy price action and just come and wick these areas very quick and then push the price right back up. Because if they ever do push the price down here, they won't stay down here for long. They'll push the price back up to make it a thing that's not affordable for the average Joe, isn't it? They wouldn't want it. They wouldn't want a lot of people to take advantage of buying Bitcoin down here. So I never neglect the fact that we could come down here because we've got these little gaps. Just based on that fact, it's not like they've been filled yet. Prices, slowly starting to, when was the last time we were here? We've actually wicked this area and we're pushing back up. So this is a very, very strong zone. Very strong zone. Okay, price could wick here and then we push back up here. And that's about it, my guy. That's all I can really say. I just look at the price action. What is telling me right now? What's within range? Because if we're trading on a daily perspective, or if we're holding Bitcoin long term, right? Then we know that even if it dumps, we're still gonna hold. How you manage your portfolio is, it's down to you whether you shave off profits once you reach a certain price and etc. But for an intraday trading basis, right, we look what's within range. So within our range on a daily is the previous daily highs and lows, and we can see that Bitcoin slammed the previous day low, all of these previous day lows in one candle. 1, 2, 3, 4, whoosh, and then rejected all the way back up. So that was quite a savage move, to be honest. 4 previous day lows that were within range from when we opened here. We opened here at this price, slammed back down. We're almost back at the opening price of the day. So from this rejection, guys, okay, doesn't really look like Bitcoin wants to stick around at these prices for long at the present moment. Okay, because the sellers, there's a lot of bull power here to push the price straight back up on the same day, back to almost the opening price. Now we got 4 hours. If we close as a bullish candle, then yeah, we could see price extending up into these gaps here very easily. Price want to push up here, take this high. Another zone here, when price gets into here, we'll probably get like some type of consolidation before it might want to come and take these wicks and start attacking, this trend line liquidity up here, back into this gap here, this daily order block. So price is looking very, very bullish right now. This look like this retracement here was just mad. But not to say we can't, tomorrow can't push down. So tomorrow what we can do is we can check the open interest data after we get the close of this daily candle, and we can see if whatever move was today, if it's going to be backed by tomorrow, or if we're going to be looking for possible short-term reversal. So it just kind of sucks being in these kind of ranges when you're a day trader, but there's still plenty of opportunities here, guys. Don't know if you guys have seen the VIP signals. VIP signals are banging. They done 100x last month. Fantastic.
Yeah, and then they were interviewing her, and she sounded insane. Yeah, I think it pushed her over the edge. I think that.
So this nice little run down here, this happened, once they created their little zone.
Really?
From what's this, the daily? So it was like,
wow. And he would put all sorts of weird hidden meaning into all of his movies.
From the 12th of April to the 4th of May. Yeah, do the maths. Boom. Then within 1, 2, 3, 4, within a week, we dropped from 39k to 26 within a week after going through a couple of weeks of this nonsense. Bang.
The moon is 127,000 miles from the Earth or something. No, it's
so we've been in a tight range for on a daily, you know, the higher time frame perspectives from the 12th to the 7th of June. Sort of similar time frame to this. So we could be expecting a nice pump from BTC. We've been in this little range for some time now, a couple of weeks. Just like we were here before we pushed down. And I like the fact that we broke in this daily high here as well. Looks like price wants to like accumulate more orders and then make its move. So yeah, guys and girls, I hope you enjoyed the stream.
That was
Anyone
awesome.
got any questions?
Yeah, that was awesome, man. So
Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah.
Into the order block.
Ooh.
Look how they're moving, guys. Sorry about all the lines and the squares and that. It just gets a bit messy sometimes.
No, all good, all good. It's nice.
But look at the rejection, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
It's a crazy wick, man. It's the 31,440 like area just on point.
So like I said, the magical timings, yeah, look, between this time here, look at the manipulation that's happening. So I'll know when it gets to like 9 o'clock what I'm looking for, whether it's a continuation, could get, possible buys. Remember what I said, price is more likely gonna come for this, it's getting closer. Could get some continuation buys. Bang. Keep pushing up to that daily order block.
Quick question, what time do the Asian markets open?
12.
Asian market,
12.
depending on where you are in the world. Here in the UK, I think Asian market opens at like 11 p.m.
Yeah.
Probably about that time.
Awesome. Alright, Donnie, just give me
So
the
yeah,
shot,
I
man.
don't think today's stream was recorded, but it's all good.
No, I recorded it. I'll
Oh,
record
you
it.
recorded it,
Yeah,
yeah?
bro. We got you. So I'll conclude it now,
wicked,
man. Appreciate it.
It's a bit of a laid back one.